Hello, everyone. My name is Grace Snipes, and for CSA Day, I will be presenting my research on the effects of math anxiety on future educational and career paths. I am currently a junior at Meredith College, and I am getting a BA in mathematics and a high school teaching licensure. I am a North Carolina teaching fellow, as well as a Meredith College teaching fellow, and I will be entering the field of teaching high school mathematics upon graduation. Throughout my placement at South Garner High School, I have been able to observe ways that students may experience math anxiety in the classroom. Because of this, I wanted to look at how this math anxiety can affect our students' future career and educational choices. I also wanted to know how I could help my future students experience less math anxiety in the classroom. And I wanted to use these techniques to prevent my students from becoming anxious about the math that I am teaching them. And so my goal is to help my students understand what they are being taught and not to cause extra anxiety for them. And so first, I would like to provide everybody with a little bit of background information. Data from the Program of International Student Assessment shows that math anxiety leads to low math performance around the world. This can happen because of avoidance of the mathematics, suppression of our cognitive processing because of anxiety, and roles of social factors. These social factors could include past classroom experiences, parental influences, and remembering poor past math experiences. In 2012, Nunez, Pina, and other colleagues studied the effects of math anxiety on student success in higher education. During the study, students were presented with a math anxiety test that included questions about their enjoyment of mathematics, self-confidence when it came to math, and motivation regarding mathematics. Their responses were assessed based on the grades that they had received in this math course. Results had shown that low performance in the course was related to math anxiety and negative attitudes towards math. Math anxiety can cause students to avoid higher level math classes, which can ultimately lead to these students limiting the amount of career and educational choices that they have to take. And many students who struggle with math tend to take the minimum number of required classes because of their lack of confidence in the area. And this can also lead to a limit on the career and educational choices that they have. My method of research that I used was an online survey that was emailed to students using Google Forms. I had 91 participants who participated in this survey, and they were all above the age of 18 and currently attending Meredith College. There was a variety of different majors represented in this study as well. They were all given an informed consent before the study, and the study was also approved by the IRB. The format of my survey included free response questions and multiple choice questions with unlimited time allowed on each question. The questions that were used on my survey were, what are you majoring in Meredith College? Did you choose this area of study in college because it did not require you to do any math? Would you be willing to focus on an area of study that did require you to do math in college? And then how likely are you to get anxious about a math assignment? If they answered very likely or somewhat likely on that question, then I also asked them which math assignment causes you to be the most anxious. And then I wanted them to explain their answer as to why this caused them to be the most anxious as well. And lastly, I asked if they would accept a job offer in a position where they had to do math every day. And if they wouldn't, why wouldn't they? And so from the answers to these questions, I found that while more students said they did not choose their area of study in college because it didn't require them to do math, less of them were willing to focus on an area of study that required them to do math in college. 71.4% of the students stated that they did not choose their area of study in college for this reason. And 56% of the students said they would not be willing to focus on an area of study that required them to do math. I also found that 37.4% of the students are very likely to get anxious about a math assignment, whereas 12.1% are very unlikely to be anxious about a math assignment. So out of these 91 students who were surveyed, that's about 36 students who are very likely to be anxious about math. Most of these students reported to get anxious over a test or a quiz the most, and they provided reasons such as a lack of confidence in the math, the timed test that they were giving when they were taking math, and not receiving enough support in class or not having enough time in class to get their questions answered. And so overall, over half of the students are very likely or somewhat likely to be anxious about a math assignment. From the same data, however, when the students were asked about if they would accept a job offer in a position where they had to do math every day, it was pretty much split half and half, with only a few more students not wanting to accept such a position. And these students stated that they would only accept a position if it was simple math and not complex numbers or formulas, while others reported that it's too stressful to have a job such as this, or that they would be afraid they would miscalculate something within the job and cause issues. From this data, I would predict that it is because a job includes more of these social factors, such as pay. The amount of pay may affect someone turning a job down just because they're going to have to do some math in the job. So overall, from all of this research, I found that majority of students do get anxious about math. And that seems to affect their educational paths more than their career paths because of all of the social factors. Teachers can help their students in the classrooms by making them feel more comfortable to ask questions. And they can also focus their attention to pedagogy rather than concepts. So if teachers were to focus more on the why behind the math than just the concepts themselves, students would be able to understand the thought process behind the math than just memorized formulas that don't make any sense to them. Teachers can also not rush students on tests and provide more time for students to complete their test. And they can focus more on positive language and staying away from negative language and using words of encouragement. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me using my email listed below.